what it is, boxing fans. September 13th, we have yet once again the rematch. Floyd Money Mayweather and Marcos Maidana. This time it is not only for the WBA and WBC welterweight titles, but it is also for the junior middleweight titles, the WBC and WBA, which ironically are both held by Floyd Mayweather. This is a fight that I think a lot of us expected to happen. First fight was proved to be a tough fight for Floyd. I had him winning 116-112, but Marcos Maidana, more than any fighter, I would say, in recent times with Floyd Mayweather, showed him really no respect at all. Like he said going into the fight, yeah, he did fight dirty, and Floyd himself, you know, used his tactics as well as he usually does. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not somebody that criticizes fighters for cheating and what have you, because look, for anybody who's followed the history of boxing from its inception to now, fighters have been getting away with shit for as long as I can remember following the sport. You know what I mean? It's a part of the game that I guess is something that isn't talked about as far as you know, some things that are even taught in the gym. Floyd didn't learn how to get away with certain things just off the top of his head, man. He was taught. Just as with Maidana, just as with a lot of these fighters. The thing about it is, nothing that Maidana was doing, or at least for really both guys, those tactics didn't play the biggest parts in the fights, okay? Marcos Maidana was successful in the sense of not letting Floyd get to the middle of the ring. There's only been two fighters I've seen have success consistently with Floyd, and that's Miguel Cotto and Jose Luis Castillo. And Maidana seemed to like kind of follow the blueprint of the Castillo fight, where he was very active, just trying to land to the body, trying to smother Floyd. I would say the only difference with Maidana is Maidana's a bigger, stronger guy, and he landed shots on Floyd early on in the fight when Floyd was against the ropes. Maidana also had a really solid jab that I think surprised even Floyd Mayweather. Even in a recent interview, him speaking about how, you know, when he was asked what was the thing that surprised you about Marcos Maidana in the first fight, and he said his jab. He had a really good jab. And if you look down through Floyd's history, man, he's a sucker for the jab. He learns to adjust, and he kind of in a way gets out of rhythm. I mean, because like Floyd, to his credit, man, he doesn't fight in rhythm. He changes up his pace, and he'll slow down a little bit, and then he'll pick it up, and then some rounds he'll throw a couple combinations, and then another round he'll just pop shot you, just to get you thinking the entire fight. But Floyd's game is he's trying to be like 3-4 steps ahead of you. Maidana had good success in the sense that he knew that Floyd couldn't hurt him, and I think that played a big part in a way where he was pushing Floyd and smothering Floyd. And when he got Floyd against the ropes, he was landing those little looping rights that were landing. You know, like people were saying, oh, they were hitting the back of the head, but like I mean, watch the fight, man. I mean, there was points where Floyd got hit, man. In this fight, what I'll say, I mean, as far as like me giving a prediction, or at least how I think the fight is gonna play out, the general consensus that I've been seeing from a lot of people is that Floyd is just gonna go in there, adjust right from round one, like the fight is, you know, round 13, which maybe it will be, that he's gonna go in there and just totally adjust and not have any problems with Maidana. I beg to differ. I think it's really gonna be almost a mirror or parallel to the first fight. Floyd doesn't like to get busy early. He knows how to pace himself really, really, really well. Better than, I think, most fighters, but he does have a lot of stamina. I think Maidana is going to apply the same type of pressure, and again, if he uses the jab just like he did in the first fight, Floyd is going to have trouble. And I think from rounds 1 to 6, it's going to be somewhat of toss-up rounds. And I think there's rounds where maybe Maidana may win 2 or maybe 3 in a row, where he looks like the busier guy and he has Floyd against the ropes, and I think he's going to hit Floyd again. You know what I mean? I think down the stretch, again, Floyd's going to adjust, as he usually does in most of his fights, and he's just going to set the same traps, I think, that he set for Maidana in the mid-rounds. Where Maidana, I think, could have success is him just being busier in the middle rounds, because he kind of tapered off, and that's where Floyd took advantage and just was landing the cleaner shots, and Maidana didn't throw enough even flurries or shots that would back Floyd off to, you know, have the judge look at it and say, oh, well, you know, Maidana was really the aggressor in that round. No, you're fighting Floyd Mayweather. You really have to convincingly win these rounds, and I think that's where Maidana kind of messed up. And he even admitted, he said, you know, I got a little bit tired, and you know, I just have to pace myself for this round, for this fight. The other part of this equation with the rematch is, you know, we go down this road time and time and time again. Floyd is 37 years old, okay? And he did have a pretty rough fight with Maidana, who is younger than him, seems to be stronger than him, and again, is in another scenario where, yeah, he's made his money, but the guy likes to fight, man. Like, I don't see him really taking a back seat to Floyd just to get a paycheck, like some people have also been kind of thrown out there. They really need to just pace themselves, meaning Maidana, and, you know, not let Floyd kind of dictate the fight. And Maidana did a good job of that early on, like through early to the mid rounds, until, again, like I said, he tapered off. One of the stats that was mind-boggling was how much Maidana threw. You know, one thing with Floyd is he takes a lot of guys out of their kind of like their comfort zone, and out of the way they fight, where, like, if you got a volume puncher in there, he seems to find a way to kind of nullify that. This was the first fight, again, in years that, like, I saw a guy throw, like, more than 500 punches on him. And, you know, I mean, you could go back and forth with the CompuBox, but Maidana was just very, very busy, man. And I've always said that in order for you to beat Floyd Mayweather, Maidana doesn't have one of the attributes, which is speed, but he punches in volume, and he's just an unorthodox type of fighter. The way he throws his punches, man. Floyd is used to guys throwing 1, 2, 3. You got a guy in there that's throwing looping rights, body shots, uppercuts. It's kind of tough to kind of gauge where everything's coming from, even if the guy isn't super fast, man. Because look, for somebody like Maidana, who, again, isn't a speedster, to land on a guy like Floyd, who arguably is the best defensive fighter in the last, like, 30-40 years, you know, you gotta give credit to Maidana at some point, man. And I think some of those things are gonna show up in this fight. Ultimately, I think Floyd, again, is gonna find a way to win, because he is that good, man. You know, I think, like Sugar Ray Leonard said best in a recent interview, Floyd Mayweather is going to beat Floyd Mayweather, unless Floyd goes in middleweight. Marcos Maidana is going to probably be a guy that 9 times out of 10 is going to give Floyd trouble in a fight. Is it possible for Marcos Maidana to land a shot to hurt Floyd? Absolutely. I have Floyd winning this fight, man. I just don't think it's going to be a total wipeout like some people are saying. I mean, I see it another 116-112, a hard-fought fight again. I think Floyd's gonna get touched up in this fight again, and Maidana's gonna try to go for gusto, but, you know, he's gonna fall short. And Floyd will prove once again. I mean, I don't want to say he's the greatest ever, but as far as this generation, I mean, you got to put him up there, man. So I have Floyd Mayweather winning a close, maybe majority, a legitimate majority decision. Let me know what you think as far as this rematch is concerned. If Maidana has a chance, you know, both of these guys now know each other, so, you know, it really can make things maybe a little more interesting. But let me know who you think is going to win the fight. And I'll be back soon. More fights coming up. And I'll be back soon.